Hey, good morning. Good morning. It is Friday morning here on Motivated Strength. I'm your host, Shane Schultz. We do this show so that you can start your day in a motivated, positive way. That way, you can take on life's challenges as they are, but more importantly, as you are right now. Now, if you happen to be new to the show, I want to say thank you for taking the time to see what we do here. What we utilize is called the optimal frame of mind. I call it the optimal frame of mind because it's a higher way of thinking. That higher way of thinking can lead us to a higher level of living. Isn't that what we're all looking for? Now, I know that there are different things that are out there that we go through. We go through pain, we go through illness, we go through struggle, we go through strife. And I got to tell you, although that I utilize motivation and personal development to be able to make a difference here, I can tell you this, when I was younger and talking about wanting to be just like those who are in the industry of inspiring others, people like, Tony Robbins and Eric Thomas and Oprah Winfrey and Maya Angelou, these names have created this amazing following in regards to inspiration and utilizing motivation. Thing is, I didn't feel it. As much as I wanted to, I just couldn't because of the challenges that I was dealing with, because I was in my suffering at that time and I was finding ways to be able to not feel it. I don't know why, it just was happening that way. And some people I know go through that same thing when you deal with chronic pain, chronic illness, mental illness. The last thing that you want is somebody to be like kind of yelling and rah rah sis boom bah and let's go, let's rock and roll and let's get going and moving and do the things that we need to do versus what it is that we're just doing here. I know what that's like. And I'm not going to sit there and not be transparent with you. I mean, I personally am dealing with chronic nerve pain right this moment. I go through traction therapy recently. I took it before and I came back to it again. So I know what it's like to go through these types of things, but here's the thing. The optimal frame of mind is more than just the rah rah sis boom bah. It's also an action. The action is to look higher than our normal thoughts, is to look higher than our normal ways, our normal behavior. It's to look higher so that we have a higher way of thinking. We then will then be led to a higher level of living. Really? I mean, it's that simple. If we have a higher way of thinking, it will lead us to a higher level of living. Why? Because that higher way of thinking then lends us to get away from our suffering, to get away from our problems. Now, I'm not saying that you're not ever going to have problems, because you are. You're just going to be dealing with them differently. Just like I'm not going to say that you aren't going to have illness or that you're not going to have pain. It's just that you manage through it differently. You find a way in order to be able to be more than the challenges that you face. And with that, you find a way to then accomplish goals that you might not have even realized were possible. Because you have that higher way of thinking. That higher way of thinking then can get you to crash through the ceiling that you might be hitting your head on a little while, right? I know what that's like, is to where you feel stuck, right? You feel stuck. You can't get out of your own damn way. It feels like an avalanche is just coming over the top of you and you just cannot stop it. I know what that's like because you're sitting there and you are looking at it from the standpoint that it's never going to end. When in fact, what you don't realize is that you're hitting your head on the ceiling. You're not at the floor anymore. You're actually right at the ceiling. You keep on hitting your head there. And you think that you're stuck. You think that you're not accomplishing something. You think that you're not being able to do what it is that you want to do because you feel like you're stuck and you're keeping yourself from being what it is that you can be. When in fact, you're only that ceiling. And guess what? We can bust through those ceilings that we are getting in our way. When we're getting our own way that are creating the ceilings that are stopping us, all we need to do is that we need to look at things differently. We need to value things differently. We need to have a different perception. And that's where the optimal frame of mind can come into play. That's where you have a higher way of thinking. And the next thing you know, you're crashing through the ceiling that was in your way. You're getting to another level. You're learning about what it takes to get to another level. You're learning what it takes to get to levels that you don't even realize exist anymore. Now, how are we doing this? Well, this week we're talking about lyrics. We're talking about song lyrics, right? Now, song lyrics are something that are in place for a number of different reasons. They're to have us reflect. They're to have us be inspired. They're to actually make us sad. They're actually there for any number of emotions that we would have. Here's the thing. Lyrics can be used to help us. Lyrics can be used to inspire us. Lyrics can be used to be able to make a difference for us. Now, the song that we're going to be talking about today is The Climb. Now, that's no surprise to you, right? Because The Climb is a very inspirational song by Miley Cyrus. Now, Miley Cyrus mentions the climb as not the perfect situation, right? When we think about climbing something, we're thinking about suffering. When we're thinking about climbing something, we're thinking about, how it takes, what it takes in order to get to the top. And you know what? When we're dealing with our suffering, when we're dealing with our pain, when we're dealing with our illness, most of the time we're not thinking about accomplishing that thing. Or we're thinking about the pain that we're in, or we're thinking about the illness that we're in and what it takes to get there. Sometimes we get to the top. We don't even know what to do with it. Sometimes we get to the top and we feel that, we just got to keep on moving on. And yeah, that's true. But when you're not valuing that, when you're not valuing the climb, right? When you're not valuing the climb that you are doing, then what is it going to do for you? When you're not valuing the climb, that hard work, that inspiration that you are creating for yourself, and not only for yourself, but also for others, when you're not valuing the climb, you're realizing that, why is it that it's a big deal? It's not really a big deal anymore. See, when you value the climb, when you value the fact that you're going to get knocked down, right? There are going to be times as to where you are going to sit there and you are going to say, listen, you know what? I'm going through some tough times. I'm going through some struggles. I know what that's like. I've been there. I've gone through that. But here's the thing. I know how to get there where I want to be. Now I just need to do it. Now, the thing is that you could put your head down and you could get there. You could get to where it is that you think that that's where you need to be. But here's the problem. You are going to be limited to that place. You're going to be limited to that position. Why? Because you don't see the value in the climb. You don't see the value in the work. You don't see the value in the strength that you are aspiring through to be able to get there. You don't see the value in it, and you sure as heck aren't reveling in it. Sometimes when you revel in your pain, when you revel into the climb that you are going through, that strife, that struggle, that pain that you are finding yourself in, when you revel in that, next thing you know, you are empowered. You are empowered to be more than the challenges that you face. You are empowered to go past that limit where it is that you were thinking that that's where you needed to be. Remember, I talk about it all the time. We are in the way of our own selves a lot. We create ceilings that are keeping us from being where it is that we want to be. The idea here is to actually utilize the power within us, to utilize that power that comes from our struggle, the power that comes from our strength, the power that comes from our experiences, so that you can crash through the ceiling that's in your damn way. And then you're going to find out that there are levels up there that you don't even realize. Then you're going to realize that you can now do more than what you ever expected. Then you're going to realize that you can accomplish goals that you didn't have any clue that you would have a choice at, or that you would have a chance at being able to make. The chances I'm taking, that's what the song says, the chances that I'm taking can knock me down. But you want to know something? It's the climb. It's the climb that can make a difference. It's the climb that can make us be strong. It's the climb that can make us laugh. It's this climb. Have you thought about that? You can actually laugh and smile while you're making that climb, while you're doing the pain, while you're enduring the illness. You can still smile and enjoy what it is that you can enjoy versus what it is that you can't. See, this is the idea of the optimal frame of mind. It's a higher way of thinking. That higher way of thinking will lead you to a higher level of living. The climb will lead you to where you want to be, which is up at the top. And you want to know something? There's something that's above there. See, when we say the word top, we think that's it. No, that's just the level that we're at. We can go even further. We can be even more. We can challenge ourselves even more to reach outside of what it is that we're able by. We can accomplish goals that you don't even realize that are even in your mindset yet. So for Saturday and Sunday, you know we do a workshop. We do a workshop. Now what I want you to do is I want you to think of the climb and I want you to smile. Now I know you're going to sit there and say, Shane, when I think of the climb, I think of pain. And you want me to smile? The answer is yeah. You know what? I did it myself. When I was in traction, I smiled. When I was in traction therapy, I smiled. Why? Because it allowed me to then not be inundated with the suffering. See, I could have sit there and say, ow, and wince, and don't get me wrong, I did. I mean, as you got a machine that's pulling your head back and your neck is going snap, crackle, pop, there are times as to where you're going to wince. But I purposely smiled. Why? Because it creates an endorphin within me that makes a difference for me. That helps me be able to reach outside of what it is that I'm able by. That helps me be able to crash through the ceiling. That helps me realize the hope that there is that I can become better than where it is that I might be right at this moment. Same thing for you. When you're dealing with chronic pain, when you're dealing with chronic illness, when you're dealing with what's keeping you stuck, I want you to smile. I want you to smile and see what it does for you. I promise you, this is going to make a difference for you. When you sit there and you smile about something that's going on with you, you are empowered. You are not suffering anymore. You are empowered. And when you are empowered, you then find yourself where you want to be versus where you might merely exist to be. You find yourself making that phone call to that friend. You find yourself going to your family and seeing them for another time, for maybe might be the time as to where it's going to make a difference that you didn't even realize. That's what the optimal frame of mind can do. The optimal frame of mind can lead you to a higher level of living, and that's what we're all looking for in the first place. Listen, we do this show Monday through Friday. We do this show so that you can start your day in a motivated, positive way. That way you can take on life's challenges as they are, but more importantly, as you are right now. Now, in order for me to help you, I need to know what you're going through. I need to know what's keeping you stuck. I need to know why it is that you're still in your suffering. I need to know what it is that we can do to move you out of your suffering and move you into your thriving so that you can thrive into that higher level of living that I keep on talking about. All right? Leave me a comment. I promise you. I love likes. I really do. Whether it be on Facebook, whether it be on YouTube, whether it be on Instagram. But comments allow me to be able to interact with you. They allow me to be able to help you in a little bit different way so that we can get you to where you want to be versus where you merely exist to be. All right? We do this show Monday through Friday. We do this show so that you can not only for the best for yourself, but also for others. I hope you have an extraordinary day, and we'll talk to you again soon.